Hey, it's Brooklyn Lou the Skeptic here, former evangelical, now turned atheist. And I wanted to talk today about one of the most ridiculous things that I actually used to believe when I was a fundamentalist Christian. And that is that an all-knowing and all-powerful God chose to reveal himself to mankind through a book. This was the primary way that I thought that God revealed himself to human beings, through a book, a very old book. Now, why is that ridiculous? Let me tell you a couple reasons why. You see, there are right now 773 million illiterate adults in the world. Let that sink in. 773 million illiterate adults. What that means, using common sense, is that those people are unable to read the book that God gave them. So I guess they're shit out of luck. But that's how I used to think. God gave a book. Also, when the time these books were put together, the literacy rate was 1 to 3%. That's it, 1 to 3%. And these books were compiled from oral tradition. So we have a situation right there that's just nuts. People spoke to someone who spoke to someone who spoke to someone who finally put it down in writing. And that writing was only able to be read by 1 to 3% of the population in that time frame. This is a horrible way for a God to communicate to people. It's very inefficient. I mean, he could have chose to actually in person communicate to each person, you know, like I would do, like you would do if you really wanted someone to know something. You would personally communicate it to them. You wouldn't leave them with a book, right? There's got to be a better way than an old book. Surely there is. But God gave us a book. Now, consider all the people that may want to read this book, but they can't. And then there are some people who can read the book, but they can't understand it. There are 24 million people in the world now that have schizophrenia. Now, of course, we know that someone with schizophrenia is not going to be able to actually interpret the Bible correctly. But God gave us a book. There are 55 million people worldwide with dementia. I'm familiar with that. My own mom had dementia. I know that if you hand a book to someone who has dementia, they're not going to get a proper interpretation. They're not going to even remember what they're reading. And yet God gave us a book. He also gave us a book that is known to have scribal forgeries. It is known factually to have forgeries he let it go out to the public with forgeries. There are many of them, but one of the most well-known forgeries is in the book of Mark. It's at the end of the book of Mark. Mark chapter 16, verses 9 to 20. This is a known forgery. Christians know it. Secular scholars know it. And in this part of the Bible, the end of the book of Mark, this is where it talks about handling snakes, poisonous snakes. This forgery has led to the death of many people, because there were many people through the years who thought that God wanted them to handle snakes in order to prove their faithfulness. Oh my gosh. Why in the world would a God put out a book with a forgery that would lead to the death of people? I guess that might be the kind of God he is. And it's horrible. There are also thousands of interpretations of the Bible. Thousands of interpretations. But God gave us a book. My gosh, who the heck cares if God gave us a book that cannot be known or interpreted by so many millions of people? And he's supposed to care about people? My gosh. No, God gave us a book, folks. God did not write a book. Thank goodness we can understand that this was written by men and that it was mythology. But we have millions of people thinking that God gave us a book. How sad, how pathetic. Think rationally, folks. Use your own brain. Critically think about things. Don't believe in imaginary friends. Your life will be better for it.